I want to say how much I appreciate having the media here this morning to help us in this important process as we talk to our residents about what might be coming up in terms of weather. My name's Kirk Watson. I'm mayor of the city of Austin, Texas, and I'm sure that everybody is paying attention to the fact that in the next several days, we are going to be facing some cold weather. And so it's very important that we be prepared for it, and that's why we are joined today by a number of leaders in our community who, in many instances, they are leaders of different departments, and they're going to be sharing important information and useful information with you, the public, and also letting people know what we at the city and at the county, we have County Judge Andy Brown here with us, what we at the city and at the county are doing to prepare for the upcoming cold weather. It's this simple. We are going to face some frigid temperatures, particularly Sunday through Tuesday. I'm going to say it again. We are facing frigid, cold temperatures, particularly this coming Sunday through this coming Tuesday. As of this morning, the forecast calls for temperatures in most of South Central Texas, the South Central Texas region, to reach the low 20s and teens each night from Sunday through Tuesday night. On Monday, highs may only reach the upper 20s and 30s. This is the type of cold snap that can be dangerous for long exposures to what we refer to as the 4 Ps. To people, pipes, pets, and plants. Please, what we're asking folks is to please make sure that you have what you need to be prepared during this very cold time. And that includes what you may need to be prepared for any power outages that might occur. Check on, be prepared, and think about in advance checking on your elderly or vulnerable neighbors so that you can make sure that they're doing okay. Keep your pets indoors as much as possible and protect your pipes by insulating them in advance if possible, disconnecting hoses and turning off water to sprinkler systems. As I've said, we have folks here that are going to say a few words here in just a second who provide important information. They're going to be providing important information that will help you and your family stay safe through this event. But the most important thing for you to do, the most important thing for you to do, for all of us to do, is to stay informed. So we encourage everyone, and I really hope people will do this, is to sign up for Warn Central Texas emergency notifications. We want you to sign up for emergency notifications so that you'll have the information that you need. The way you do that is you go to warncentraltexas.org. warncentraltexas.org. You can also download the free Ready Central Texas app. That's called the Ready Central Texas app. You can download that on your phone, and that will provide updates and news. It'll provide emergency plan checklists and provide preparedness services. I would also ask that you bookmark the city's emergency alerts webpage at austintexas.gov/alerts. austintexas.gov/alerts. What that'll do is it'll get you real-time emergency information in 14 languages. And of course, stay tuned into local news and weather reports from our local TV and radio stations and from online sources. We know that extreme weather will happen because we know that we need to be ready and we need to be focused and we want to build our resiliency. So we're doing this. We will continue to do these kinds of things where we keep people aware, But the key part of this is we want people to stay prepared. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Andy Brown, who is the county judge of Travis County, to say a few words, and then we will hear from different folks that will talk about different aspects of this potential cold weather. Judge Brown.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning. I want to thank Mayor Watson and the city government and county staff and emergency management teams for working so diligently to prepare us for the coldest air of the season that's going to happen next week. I'm Travis County Judge Andy Brown, and I've over the past few days had a broken pipe in my house, was without water for a couple days. Internet broke yesterday, was without internet for a little bit, so I'm really trying to run through the paces in my own personal house of what things that could go wrong. I serve as the county's chief administrator for Travis County, and in times of need, the director of emergency management for the county of over 1.4 or so million residents. We've known that winter is coming, and now it appears that it is arriving this weekend. We expect single-digit wind chills throughout central Texas, starting Sunday night and going into Tuesday. We really need your help to keep our community safe, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, stay up to date. 2, prepare your home. And 3, protect the 4 Ps that we heard from the mayor. You can stay up to date and monitor local news for weather forecasts and sign up for emergency alerts with warncentraltexas.org and with your local utility service. It's now more important than ever to prepare your home emergency kit with essentials if your supplies are low, with like non-perishable food, water, blankets, first aid kit, batteries, flashlights, extra medications, and necessities for children and pets. Take this time to restock if your supplies are low. And lastly, like the mayor said, take the necessary steps to protect the 4 Ps: people, pets, pipes, and plants. Our county team will focus on efforts to keep the public safe, warm, and moving during and after this winter weather event. Our Office of Emergency Management will be at the Emergency Operations Center, coordinating the efforts of Travis County departments and communicating with the 21 cities, towns, and villages within Travis County. Our transportation and natural resources road crews will be ready to assist to keep our county roadways clear and open, and for the public in general, but particularly for first responders and other critical needs. Our Health and Human Services staff will be ready to support the City of Austin with staff for shelters and warming centers across the city and across Travis County. HHS staff will also serve as the point of contact and coordinators for mental health services and senior assisted living centers when the Emergency Operations Center is activated. Additionally, all 6 Travis County community centers will be open to the public as warming centers during normal business hours today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Remember, we need your help to keep the community safe. And please don't wait. Please start now. Again, stay up to date. Sign up at warncentraltexas.org. Prepare your home, restock your essentials, and protect the 4 Ps: people, pets, pipes, and plants. If you can, please be a good neighbor. And those who are elderly, chronically ill, or who have newborns may need assistance during this winter weather. Buenos días, soy el juez del condado de Travis, Andy Brown. Sirvo como el administrador principal del condado y en situaciones de emergencia como director manejo de emergencias para nuestros más de 1.3 millones de residentes. Esperamos que las temperaturas estén por debajo del punto de congelación a partir del domingo por la noche hasta el martes. Pueden mantenerse informados y seguir las noticias locales para conocer los pronósticos del tiempo y registrarse para recibir alertas de emergencia en warncentraltexas.org a través del servicio y también a través de su servicio de utilidad local. Ahora es más importante que nunca preparar su kit de emergencia en casa con elementos esenciales si sus suministros están bajos, como alimentos enlatados, agua, cobijas, baterías, medicamentos adicionales y artículos necesarios para niños y mascotas. Gracias. And now I will pass it over to Eric Carter, the Chief Emergency Management Coordinator for Travis County. All right, thanks, man.
All right, good morning. I just want to say at Travis County Office of Emergency Management, we are communicating with the 21 other cities and towns and villages throughout Travis County. We're meeting and organizing their respective emergency management coordinators and making certain they have no unmet needs in their communities. We're also communicating with our emergency service districts and are ready to assist and treat or clear any roads that may be dangerous for travel. I also want to thank the community of Travis County who has taken the necessary steps to prepare for this winter weather. If you have not prepared, now is the time. Whether you live in Lago Vista, Austin, or Manor, the winter weather will affect you. When making your plan to prepare, make sure you include signing up for Warren Central Texas, and you can get the theme that we're trying to push here as far as getting alerts. You should also sign up for the alerts that are offered by your utility companies, so you can be advised of any breaks if they occur. You should also make accommodations for any necessary food and water you may need should you choose to stay home for the next several days. Following this advice will help you and your family safely navigate the winter weather. I just want to thank everybody, and at this point, I'm going to pass it over to Director Ken Snipes with the City of Austin Homeland Security Emergency Management Office.
Good morning. Again, Ken Snipes, Director of Homeland Security and Emergency Management for the City of Austin. As you have heard from both Mayor Watson and Judge Brown, we have extremely cold weather moving into our region this weekend. As a result, the city has begun preparing for those freezing winds that will blow through our area, and we ask you to start preparing now. The National Weather Service is predicting wind chills as low as the single digits for Central Texas. The climate is changing, and the way you plan for emergencies should as well. There is no longer a question of if we will have extreme weather in our region, but now when. In northern states, water pipes are buried well below the frost line, but in our southern regions, they are not. Historically, this was not a problem, but as we are now seeing extreme weather on a more regular basis, we should prepare for the possibility of freezing pipes in our homes. This is different from what we have been used to. The climate is behaving differently, and we must adjust and change the way we prepare. So what should you do to begin preparing? Based on the forecast, we are asking you to prepare now. Start gathering supplies for your emergency kits. Please be sensible about your needs and what to purchase. Buy non-perishable food items if your supplies are low, and we recommend a 7-day food and water supply. Make sure you have flashlights, batteries, blankets, and other items in your home that will help you. Take the necessary steps to protect people, pets, pipes, and plants. Regarding resources that will be available to you, Austin Public Libraries and parks and recreation facilities are available as warming centers during their regular business hours. However, on Monday, it is a city holiday, the MLK holiday, and most facilities will be closed. However, since the coldest temperatures are expected Sunday and Monday, Austin Public Libraries is opening 3 warming center locations from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on those days. Those locations are the Little Walnut Creek branch, the Ruiz branch, and the Terrazas branch libraries. The Central Library Event Center will also be available as a warming center from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Tuesday. Regular business hours and operations will resume at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. The city will open an overnight shelter for families with children if there is a need as a result of weather impacts. Emergency shelters and updates and information will be available at austintexas.gov/alerts, and that information will be available in 14 languages. Additional resources that may be available to you include emergency preparedness pop-up events that will take place Wednesday, January 17th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Old Quarry Branch Library. Come by that event to get emergency supplies. We host these events monthly. Don't forget to bookmark, as the mayor mentioned earlier, the austintexas.gov/alerts page for emergency information, again available in 14 languages. To help you prepare, visit the readycentraltexas.org, which is full of resources to help you make a plan, build a kit, and to know how to prepare yourself and to protect your neighbors as well. You can also sign up for emergency alerts at warrencentraltexas.org. To get preparedness tips on our Ready Central Texas app, which you can also download to your smartphone. When you are proactive and prepared, your emergency responders can take care of those who most need the help. And now I'm going to turn it over to Bob Kahn, CEO of Austin Energy.
Thank you, Ken. As Ken said, Bob Kahn, General Manager, Austin Energy. I want to cover three areas today. I want to talk about what Austin Energy has done to prepare for the cold weather and what can we expect in the weather that's coming in over the next few days. And as the mayor and Judge Brown have talked a little bit about what you can do to prepare. So as far as what Austin Energy has done to prepare, we prepare year-round for extreme weather, including cold weather in the winter. At our power plants and substations, the focus is on weatherizing, insulating, and inspecting equipment. We completed those weatherization measures in early December, and we submitted an affidavit to ERCOT and the PUC saying that we've done that. And ongoing equipment inspections are more frequent in the winter months. Our personnel are trained for winter weather emergencies. Critical supplies are in stock, and our crews are ready to roll to respond to any local outages. Our vegetation management crews continue to focus on tree trimming around our poles and equipment. The utility perform inspections and upgrades on circuits that may be more susceptible to winter weather issues. Austin Energy has expanded its emergency management team, and additional crews will be on hand and ready to respond to whatever the weather brings. So let me talk a little bit about what we're expecting on the weather. The forecast, as you've heard, currently calls for temperatures below or near freezing Monday and Tuesday. ERCOT has issued a weather watch forecasting higher electrical demand and the potential for lower reserves. At this time, grid conditions are expected to be normal, and there is not a current expectation of an energy emergency. We're closely monitoring the weather with multiple services and in close contact with ERCOT. We will share any grid condition changes from ERCOT, and you can see it for yourself if you go to ERCOT.com. I want to talk a little bit about what you could do to prepare. That's already been discussed at length today, so I won't repeat any of that. But the main thing is sign up for outage text alerts at outagemap.austinenergy.com or text REG to 287-846. And you will get automatic text messages if there's issues on the grid in your area. When the outage map is updated every 10 minutes or so, if there's an update in your area and you have an outage, you'll get an update on where we are on repairing that. The current grid information and resources are also available at austinenergy.com/alerts.
Who's next? Don't take everything.
Yes, right.
Shay, thank you.
Good morning. My name is Shay Rolson, Director of Austin Water. We want to remind everyone that now is the time for Austin Water customers to winterize their homes to prevent water pipes from freezing and breaking. Steps you can take before the winter weather arrives: you can locate your water main shutoff. Know where your home's water main shutoff valves are located and keep them clear of debris and obstacles so you can easily get to them. Both the property owner's valve and the Austin Water meter are normally located towards the front of the property. A good video on how to locate and shut them off can be found at austinwater.org. You can also protect exposed pipes, water heaters, and outside faucets. Insulate pipes in unheated, drafty areas like crawl spaces, attics, or your garage. Review the manufacturer recommendations for winterizing your tanked and tankless water heaters. Turn off outside faucets, remove all connected hoses, and wrap them with towels or a styrofoam insulator. Turn off and drain automatic sprinkler systems. If you're leaving town, please set your thermostat to at least 65 degrees. Steps you can take during the freezing weather. You can protect your indoor faucets. And do that by opening cabinets beneath the kitchen and bathroom sinks to let warm air circulate around the pipes. Remember to secure any toxic substances normally stored in those cabinets to keep children and pets safe. If there is still a danger in your house or in your home of indoor pipes freezing, drip one cold water faucet slowly. Choose the one that is farthest from your main shutoff valve. You can watch a video on how to protect your indoor faucets and find other winterizing resources at austinwater.org. You can also rest assured that Austin Water is prepared. We are monitoring conditions that could potentially impact our water infrastructure, and our team works hard every day in all weather conditions to provide reliable, high-quality water service to our customers. We want our customers to be prepared and informed, so visit austinwater.org or follow us on social media for updates and more guidance on protecting your pipes. We also have an outage map on our website, and our crews are currently preparing for the winter weather so that all of our infrastructure is prepared. Winter preparedness is a team effort, and we want to thank the city, our community partners, Austin Water employees, and our customers as we work together to prepare for the winter season. Next, I will turn it over to David Gray, the Homeless Strategy Officer.
Good morning. I'm David Gray. I'm the head of Austin's new Homeless Strategy Office. When extreme weather hits, whether it's cold or heat, we know that our people experiencing homelessness are the most vulnerable and the most at risk. That's why we are prepared, and we have a plan to ensure that everybody can stay safe and has a warm place to be this coming week. As many of you know, the City of Austin operates cold weather shelters, and we offer those shelters to anyone in our community that seeks a warm place to stay when the temperatures drop below a determined threshold. Generally, we'll make a determination at 9 a.m. whether we will open shelters that evening. But because we know with a fair degree of certainty that temperatures will be very cold Sunday night through Tuesday morning, we are confirming now that cold weather shelters will be activated Sunday evening, and rather than closing on Monday, we'll continue cold weather shelter operations throughout the day on Monday and then deactivate on Tuesday morning. As Director Snipes said in his remarks, Austin Public Library will have 3 branches open as warming centers from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday and Monday. Those 3 locations are the Little Walnut Creek branch, the Ruiz branch, and the Terrazas branch. Registration for the City of Austin's cold weather shelters will begin at 5 a.m. on Sunday and at 5 p.m. on Sunday and at 5 p.m. on Monday. As always, registration will be at One Texas Center, which is located at 505 Barton Springs Road. The bus lines for One Texas Center are bus lines 1, 7, 10, 20, 30, 105, 142, and 801. Cap Metro will not charge a fare for individuals seeking cold weather shelter. Please remember that our cold weather shelters are open to anyone in our community that seeks a warm place for the night. Information about accessing our cold weather shelters is always available by calling our cold weather shelter hotline at 512-972-5055. Again, that number is 512-972-5055. On Tuesday morning, the Central Library Special Events Center will open early as an additional temporary relief center. That location will open from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Additionally, all Austin Public Library and Recreation Department facilities will be available during normal business hours on Tuesday as additional warming centers. Thank you all again for helping us get this information to our community. And with that, I will turn it over to Austin Fire Chief Joe Baker.
Good morning, everyone. As was said, my name is Joel Baker, the Austin Fire Chief. I'm here to provide you with some safety tips and ways to get prepared for next week's winter weather event. So when heating your homes, remember space heater needs space. Do not put your space heater near curtains or other combustible material. Make sure that your central heating system is working properly. If you need to get it serviced, try to get it serviced as soon as possible. Never use kerosene or gas heater in enclosed areas. And don't use internal combustible engines such as generators inside your home due to carbon monoxide poisoning. And when using your fireplace, remember to open up the flute. And only use firewood in your fireplace and not pre-treated lumber or other unauthorized combustible material in your fireplace. You should really have your chimney inspected by a professional at least once a year. So I hope everyone's fireplace is working properly if you're using it. Check your smoke detector to make sure you have batteries. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever why anyone in the city of Austin should not have a working smoke detector when your Austin Fire Department give out free smoke detectors. But check the batteries if you need them. Be sure if you decide to burn candles, have your candles not near any type of combustible material such as curtains and other flammable items, and pay attention to your candles if you need them. But the best solution to that is to get some flashlights with working batteries so you won't need any candles if your power go out. Have a home escape plan in the event you need to get out your home. If once you leave your home due to a fire, hopefully you will not have any fires, but do not return back inside. But have a working fire plan in place to keep everyone as safe as possible. There are additional information on the www.austintexas.gov/department/fire and life safety tips, or go to the cityofaustin.gov website to get additional information from the Austin Fire Department. With that, I will bring up Interim Police Chief Robin Henderson.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. My name is Robin Henderson. I'm the Interim Chief of Police for the Austin Police Department. As my colleagues have said, we are all working together to prepare for the anticipated winter weather. One thing I want to stress to our community is know the resources that you have available to you. Know how to be prepared, know how to receive notifications, and know what to do for yourself and your family should an emergency occur. And always, please think about your neighbors and those that are most vulnerable. Have a plan in place for them as well. Our first responder agencies have a few things that we'd like to see from you, specifically related to the Austin Police Department. We are here supporting our AFD, EMS, and other city departments, but we need you to help us to keep you safe. If you plan on leaving your house, please check the weather conditions. Know about road closures and plan a safe route to your destination. Let someone know your route. Turn on your location services on your mobile devices. Please pack a safety kit and keep it in your vehicle, including water, blanket, flashlights, batteries, and food. If you must drive, use caution. There's no need to speed. Please allow yourself extra time to arrive to your destination. And please keep your safe distance. If lights are not working, if traffic lights are not working, please treat them as a four-way stop. If you do find yourself in an emergency situation, please call 911 and be patient, as emergency services will be there as soon as possible. Please follow all of the messages from our agencies, as we are sharing this for you and your safety, and the Austin community collectively for their safety. APD will also be communicating on our various social media platforms regarding emergency situations, as will our other public safety partners. I will now pass it to Chief Lookritz for EMS.
Thank you. Good morning. Rob Lukritz, the Chief of Austin Travis County EMS. Excuse me. I'm just here to share some topics and some things in terms of being prepared and how you can prepare for your family. Much of this has been already said. However, I don't think that it can be emphasized the need for us to prepare as we come into this cold weather. Cold can kill, and it is important that we recognize that and prepare ourselves. Austin Travis County EMS is fully prepared for winter operations. Our facilities have been winterized. Our staff are prepared and adequately equipped with the necessary things that they will need. We've identified several areas where we can make improvements over the past year, and many of those have been implemented. However, the most important thing is the community, as has been said before, taking care of yourselves, taking care of your loved ones, taking care of your neighbors. Remember, the best thing that we can do in this cold weather is to stay indoors. If you do need to go outside, please remember to use layers, to wear a hat and gloves, to make sure you have shoes with good traction and grip. At home, please ensure that you have an adequate storage of your medication, at least 7 days worth. And lastly, really emphasizing the need for us to make sure that if we are heating our homes, if we do have some sort of a loss of heat, to not utilize other ways to heat your home. Do not use your vehicle, do not open your oven, do not use your stove. Those are ways that we can produce carbon monoxide and kill yours and result in death. Do not use grills indoors, and make sure that if you are using generators that they're outside at least 10 feet from your home with the exhaust pointed away. Lastly, if you do have vulnerable neighbors or members in your community, please make sure that you're checking on them on a regular basis. And if you do need any resources, do not hesitate to reach out to emergency services. Austin Travis County EMS is prepared, not only in our emergency response, but also with our community health paramedics to assist individuals as needed. And with that, I'll turn this over to Director Mendoza from Transportation and Public Works.
Thank you, Chief Luckritz. Transportation and Public Works' primary responsibility during a winter weather event is to ensure that our critical mobility, roads and bridges, infrastructure are treated and clear for the general public and emergency response personnel. Transportation Public Works will be monitoring both the forecast and weather conditions very closely throughout the next 4 days in the event that this cold weather does produce any freezing precipitation, be that sleet, freezing rain, ice, or snow. In the event that we do experience those winter conditions for our city, Transportation Public Works crews are trained and ready to respond by applying de-icing materials to our critical roadways and bridge infrastructure, or mobilizing heavy equipment to clear any accumulation of freezing material. Our crews will be on 12-hour rotating shifts on standby to ensure that mobility infrastructure is clear and maintained. And in addition to that, we have traffic crews will be on rotating 12-hour shifts on standbys to ensure that our high priority signal network, in the event that we do lose power, although we have spent the last year installing additional battery backups, if we have dark intersections, and as Chief stated before, if you do encounter a dark intersection, please treat that as an always stop. In addition to that, we do want to remind the public that if there is freezing precipitation on the roadways and you absolutely do have to go out and travel, please do so with extreme caution. Only get out on the roadways if absolutely necessary so that our crews can continue to monitor the roadway and apply additional treatment if necessary. Know that elevated structures and bridges have a tendency to freeze over first before the ground. Right now, we're enjoying pretty warm ground temperatures, but with the duration of this expected event, that could change in pretty rapidly. So with that, please stay safe, and I want to hand it over to Development Services Director, Jose Roy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in delivering this important message to the community. My name is Jose Roy, Director of the Development Services Department. Ahead of the next week's cold weather, we encourage everyone, please, to take proactive steps, as we have been saying before, to protect yourself and your property. Freezing water pipes can cause significant damage to your house, to your business, so please be aware of that. The recommendation that we have for you is to take immediate action. If you know that you have some plumbing issues, leaky pipes, or anything that needs repairs, you have some time to do those repairs now and be proactive before the cold weather sets in. As you watch the weather, keep in mind, and we know this very well in Texas, that conditions can change quickly. So prepare your home and your business for anything that could happen. Trim dead or loose limbs near your home. Be watchful for that. Or the business as a precaution to minimize damage of the trees that can result from wind gusts or accumulation. I know Fire Chief mentioned this, but I'm going to repeat this. The risk of fires and carbon monoxide poisoning unfortunately increases as temperatures dip. We've seen this every year. For your safety and the safety of everyone in your home, do not use any supplemental heating sources indoors. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a grill, an oven, a generator. Check for functioning smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors to make sure that you are alert if anything happens, any dangerous conditions. If you're a renter with unresolved code violations that present a threat for your safety, please call Austin 311 to request a code compliance inspector to visit your property. You can do that by calling 311. You can call 512-974-2000. You can also have an app in your phone that you can make a request, or you can go online. If you get damaged after the storm, please start those repairs immediately to prevent any further damage if your home or business is impacted by the weather. Our inspectors will be available 24/7 for any emergency electrical or gas inspections to restore the service after the repair. You can find additional information for our permits and emergency repairs at the webpage austintexas.gov/emergency-permits. The Development Services Department exists to provide access to people and resources that support our community, efforts to build and repair structures that meet the safety standards. And we can assure you that we will work with you to ensure that the repairs are completed to code and issue the permit when it's needed, if one is needed. I'm going to turn it back to our Major Kirk Watson for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, as you hear, the chief message that we have is preparedness. And, as the county judge has pointed out, and the director of emergency management of the county, Mr. Carter, have pointed out, the county has been preparing for us to have a cold weather snap, and is asking also the public to also be prepared. Here at the city, our Director of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, Ken Snipes, has been working tirelessly this year to put us in a position where we will be prepared for something like a cold snap. And then you've heard from all of these different departments where they have also been prepared. But it's going to get cold, and that requires that we as citizens also be prepared. And we also need to recognize that even the best laid plans, things can happen in extreme weather circumstances where there are power outages and slick streets, or the stoplights go out, things of that nature, and we need to be prepared for that as well. So before I take questions or have these experts take questions on aspects of this, I want to remind everyone of two things as part of preparedness. One is that we continue to encourage everyone to sign up for warncentraltexas.org for emergency notifications. That's warncentraltexas.org. And you can download a free app, Ready Central Texas app, on your phone, and that will provide updates and news. It will provide emergency plan checklists and resources for how to be prepared. And you can also bookmark the city's emergency alerts webpage, austintexas.gov/alerts. And I really encourage everyone to utilize those resources. They on the one end, they may save your life. On the other, they may make it just easier to get through a rough climate moment in our city. So with that, I'll open it up for questions. We'll take a few questions. Yes, sure.
Question for Austin Energy. What's the status of Austin's Energy's ability to meet the expected demand for the projected cold weather?
So our power flows into ERCOT, and then ERCOT sends it back out to all the load entities, right? One interesting situation will probably develop is Dallas is up there. It's going to be colder. They're going to probably be sucking a lot more energy out than we will. And if you saw the Watson wire, the grid, it's like a large pool. We put power in, we get out what's left. If there's not enough left, and we don't expect that this will happen, then you go into controlled outages. But right now, we feel pretty comfortable. ERCOT is saying that they have enough generation to meet the demand, and we'll just have to see what happens. Okay.
If I just might highlight what the general manager just said, is that we most of us get our power from Austin Energy, and we pay the bills to Austin Energy, and we understand that Austin owns its own electric utility. But he makes a very important point, and not just that you ought to read the Watson wire, but but that's a very important point. But what he said, what he points out there is that the overall grid in the state of Texas, we are part of an overall grid. So when we produce power, it goes into the pool, if you will, and we take power out of that pool, but it's not necessarily the same, the same watts that went into the pool, like the same water molecules that go into a swimming pool. And so ERCOT plays the paramount role in what we have in terms of power resource. But as he also pointed out, the good news is that ERCOT is looking at this. They're looking at it statewide or pool-wide, if you will, and their position is that they feel comfortable with this upcoming winter moment that we're going to have. Other questions? Thanks for the question. Yeah, in the back.
For folks who have not used Warn Central Texas yet, can you talk about where they're getting the information from, what they're going to get from y'all, who's running that?
Sure, and Ken, you want to go into detail on that?
Sure, thank you for the question.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Warren Central Texas is a site that we support internally, and the information is loaded up. I can't see who asked the question. And the information is loaded up by folks either from our team or from our partners over at TDEM, the Texas Department of Emergency Management.
Yes.
Another question for Austin Energy. Can you give us an update on tree trimming around power lines? I know we were showing a little behind a few months ago on that. Can you give us an update?
Sure. Yeah, we're catching up on that. As I mentioned, I think at our conference on December 1st, we have about 85 crews that are out there. And right now, with this weather coming up, we're focusing on trimming around poles, substations. So we're in pretty good shape on that, making good progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your halo is so bright. I had to shield my eyes.
I'm not hearing a lot about transportation. So should the motorists who go out expect that the roads have not been pre-treated if ice suddenly appears?
Why don't you come? Yeah. And the last part of that question is also very important, and that is if ice appears. Right now, the National Weather Services is reporting. Of course, you all have great resources at all your TV stations on this with your meteorologists. But right now, it looks real cold with not a whole lot, as we look at it right now, of precipitation or moisture as part of that, which changes that obviously. But it's a good question for preparedness for the answer, and I'll ask Mr. Mendoza to help us with that.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your question. From a transportation perspective, and if we do realize freezing precipitation, be that freezing rain, sleet, ice, or snow, in years past, we've only been reactive to that. We've applied an aggregate material to increase traction, knowing that customarily or historically we would thaw out within 24 hours. We understand now that that's no longer the case. So beginning last year, we procured de-icing equipment to pre-treat roads that would lower the freezing temperature and prevent that formation in the first place. So for the first time last year and now this year, in a more robust nature, we have crews that have gone through exercises. They've driven pre-assigned routes of high priority mobility roads, bridges, as well as access to critical facilities, so that we will get out in front. And the closer we get to an expected precipitation, those forecasts get a lot more accurate. And so we can, and plus we'll have folks stationed out remotely taking ground temperatures, taking air temperatures, and reporting those back to our central operations. So we'll get out ahead of any of that precipitation. And, the folks up north have been doing this for many years. They say it's as much an art as it is a science. You have to time it just right. But I feel confident in the last 2 years that we've got up to speed and we'll be able to be out there in a proactive nature.
Why don't we do one more question? Yeah, sure.
For the first responder services, what steps are y'all taking to ensure that y'all can meet any increases in 911 calls that are coming in? This can be just more staff and also at the 911 call center, maybe too.
Not all at one time.
Y'all rush the podium.
But we work so well together. That's why we hesitated who was going first. Thank you for your question, sir. We would up staff in the fire service to make sure we have enough personnel. We would have specialty units, like on our brush truck, to respond. And we make sure our generators are working well within the station, so we can make sure we maintain power in the station as well. But the Property Safety Department, police, fire, and EMS, they can speak for themselves. But we are ready and prepared to assist the needs of the citizens and the visitors of the city.
Hi, thank you for that question. Please know that we are actively preparing, first of all, to make sure we have adequate staffing available, and then at our various police stations, making sure that our first responders are equipped with what they need in order to be able to respond. Also, please know that our 911 staffing has been bolstered. We have improved our staffing there, so there should be enough staff available unless there's some sort of transportation issue limiting their availability to respond or report to work, but our 911 staffing shall be adequate to handle any kind of influx in call volume. And so please note that we work very well with our public safety partners. When we do have to respond to calls for services, we're in constant communication with one another and making sure that we work collectively to keep the Austin community safe.
From an EMS perspective, as many of you may know from Winter Storm Mara, we do see an increase in volume during these emergencies, and it really requires us to expand and upstaff our telehealth services, our collaborative care line, and our community health paramedics with an effort to pull off as many calls off the 911 system. During Winter Storm Mara, where we pulled more than 300 calls that we were able to handle in our dispatch center without sending an ambulance. And so we'll continue those services with an effort towards keeping those ambulances available for the most critical calls and using other resources for those that might not require ambulances. So we're very confident that we'll be able to adjust and titrate based on the demand.
Great. Thank you all. I just want to say before we wrap this up that I really appreciate the work that the directors of our emergency management does, both Director Snipes and Carter. And I also want to say how proud that I am of the work that has gone on during this, now I guess it's the past year, in 2023, to be better prepared for these sorts of events, both with regard to those who direct our emergency management, but with all of these different departments and the coordination that now has been enhanced over this past year in 2023. And I am very proud of that, and I'm very proud of the people that are serving the residents of Austin and Travis County in that regard. With that, I'm going to ask the county judge if he wants to say anything in closing, and then we'll wish everybody to be safe.
Thanks.
Judge?
Thanks,
Can you
Mayor.
now talk about some of the changes that have been made since the last big storm?
Sure. Ken, why don't you do that, and I'll follow up after. First of all, one of the changes is Ken Snipes, right?
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. With respect to some of the changes, there have been a number of changes across the city, as you've heard. You heard Director Mendoza talk about a new approach to how we manage freezing conditions on our road network, how we deal with dark signals and things like that. From an emergency management perspective, some of the things that we've done is kind of reach across all of our partners to make sure we're coordinating with the county as well as our in-house partners. We're making sure that we're all communicating, that we're talking on a regular basis. And I think that has been a big change. We've worked through some of the issues that we've seen in the past to identify specifics that we needed to address. And we've kind of lined those things up to start systematically ticking those things off of the list. We've worked with our partners at Homeless Services Office, Director Gray here behind me, to make sure we're supporting the efforts that make it easier for him to do his job in terms of the folks that are living out unsheltered in our communities. So it's been a comprehensive look across the entire city and county to make sure that we are understanding where we've not done well and pivoting to opportunities to do better.
One of the key problems a year ago was communication. Just amongst the different departments that you have here at the city, at least. And Director Snipes has led a very strong program of making sure that everybody is being trained in the same way, so that we all are communicating in the same way, and frankly, that there are communication lines in place to allow for that communication to occur. In addition to that, we have had tabletop exercises that make a difference in terms of people knowing how things ought to operate, when they ought to operate, and again, how to better communicate. Even the way we're talking about different preparedness and getting information to the public is better and a difference. And you will see us continue to push that so that we make sure people are better prepared, but they're also getting better information so that they'll know what's going on. Austin Energy has been working on that in particular because of the need that we obviously identified at Austin Energy about people being able to know where outages were, how quickly they'll be fixed, things of that nature. So I'm really proud of the effort that's gone in to this over the past year. With that, I am now going to turn it over to the county judge to close, and we'll be done.
Thanks. So even though I'm a lawyer, I did take some physics and chemistry classes. So I'm just looking at the temperatures.
Let's hope he did well.
We'll see about that. So Sunday, a low of 22 degrees. This is according to my scientific Apple phone here. Tuesday, a low of 16, Wednesday, a low of 17. So if you're wondering if you should be on the roads when it's below 32, which by my training is the temperature that water freezes, maybe think twice about going out on the roads when you have these freezing temperatures. And if you do have to go out on the roads, drive more slowly than regular. I know our our first responders, emergency services folks would really appreciate that, especially if things do get moist, that people stay off the roads. With that, I want to thank Mayor Watson in particular and all of the city staff and departments, and as well as my team over at the county for working together so well. I think y'all all should have everyone's faces and names here on a first name basis based on the number of press conferences that we have had leading up to this, and just want to again thank Mayor Watson and his team for the great partnership on getting prepared. So thank y'all very much.
Everybody
Mayor.
be safe.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.